As lovers of technology, we of course love everything that is software. As software engineers, that's natural. But also, I'm sure we all share the love for technology that enhances our ability to deal with softwares. And one of them is, of course, computer, screen, mouse, keyboard, and everything that is related, that's surrounding it. And one of the things is screen, because we spend so much time looking at a screen and we code on it. This is what we see, our output, how we judge, see the input and the output, the coding and the result and the app and the everything. And it's always been a big interest of mine, just because I feel like it can be better, it can improve. There are screens that I like more than others. So when I saw this, it got me interested. Programming in the Sun, A Year with the Daylight Computer by Oscar Wickstrom on the website wickstrom.tech. It looks like just basically another screen that is very readable, kind of like Kindle. And I love the Kindle screen, so I just wanted to see what it's like. I've been hinting on X Twitter about my use of the Daylight DC1 as a programming environment, and after about a year of use, it's time to write about it in longer form. This isn't a full product review, but rather an experience report on coding in Sunlight. It's about the Boox Tab Ultra, which has a different type of display and how it compares to DC1 for my use cases. This is not a sponsored post. Another thing that I definitely realized is it's quite hard to code under the sunlight. I don't really like coding outside. I know some people do it and it looks really cool, but I've tried it and I didn't really enjoy it. And I think one of the thing is the screen. Another thing is all this debris flying around. I don't know. I feel like the computer. I don't want that near my computer. I want to code in a safe spot. But I know some people do it and it looks really cool. So let me see if this can convince me to do otherwise. NeoVim in Termux on the Daylight DC1. This looks really clean, right? This looks very readable, very codable. I wonder about the response rate because I'm guessing this is ink display, but it looks really clean, really looks really cool. But also, yeah, response rate and also the syntax highlighting. Those two things I miss just looking at this. Why do I even bother, you might ask? Sunlight makes me energetic and alert, which I need when I work. Living in the Nordics, 50% of the year is primarily dark, so any direct daylight I can get becomes really important. I usually run light mode on my framework laptop during the day, but working in actual daylight with these displays or plain old paper is even better. Oh, that's cool. He uses framework laptop. I think that will definitely be my next laptop. I don't know if you guys seen it, but framework laptop is basically a very modular laptop that you can just switch out everything. And yeah, because I feel like batteries on laptops, they usually die after a few years, and I don't like that. The setup. Here are the main components of this coding environment. Daylight DC1, an Android-based tablet with a live paper display, reflective LCD, not e-ink. Okay, it's not e-ink, so the response rate wouldn't be an issue. Refresh rate, I mean. 8-bit Do retro mechanical keyboard, a mechanical Bluetooth enabled keyboard with Kali key switches and USB-C charging and optional connection. Termux, a terminal emulator for Android with a package collection based on APT, SSH, Tmux, and NeoVim. Nothing surprising here. I use a slimmed down version of my regular .dot files because this setup doesn't use Nix. I've manually installed NeoVim, Tmux, and a few other essentials using the package manager that comes with Termux. I've configured Termux to not show its virtual keyboard when the physical keyboard is connected, the Bluetooth keyboard. The Termux theme is e-ink and the font is JetBrains Mono, all built into Termux. NeoVim uses the built-in quiet color scheme for maximum contrast. Certain work requires a more capable environment, and in those cases I connect to my workstation using SSH and run tmux there. For writing or simpler programming projects, I've even done Rust work with Cargo, for instance. The local tmux environment is fine. Sometimes I want to go really minimalist, so I hide the tmux status bar and run Goyo in Neovim. Deep breaths, feel the fresh air in your lungs. This is especially nice for writing blog posts like this one. I think it would be super cool to just go to a cafe carrying the screen and the keyboard and then go there and type. Having said that, wouldn't just taking like a MacBook Air or something like that easier going to a cafe, now that I think about it? Maybe I'm just romanticizing what I don't have. But it just looks really minimalistic and really cool. And I really like the vertical display. It's cool. My blog editing works locally in tmux with the live reloading of Chrome in a split window. Here during an evening writing session with a warm backlight enabled. Yeah, that looks really cool. Very minimalistic. And yeah, very aesthetic too. Split screen blogging locally on the daylight. So this device is really versatile. It can go horizontal, it can go vertical, it can do many things. There's the occasional Bluetooth connection problem with the 8-bit do keyboard. I also don't love the layout, and I'm considering getting the Kinesis Freestyle 2 Blue instead. I already have the wired version for my workstation, and the ergonomics are great. Daylight DC1 versus Boox Tab Ultra. What about the Boox? I've had this device for longer and I really like it too, but not for the same tasks. The e-ink display is quite frankly a lot nicer to read on. EPUB books, research PDFs, web articles, etc. The 227 ppi instead of the Daylight 190 ppi makes a difference, and I like the look of e-ink better overall. However, the refresh rate and ghosting make it a bit frustrating for typing. Same goes for drawing, which I've used the Daylight for a lot. Most of my home renovation blueprints are sketched on the Daylight. The refresh rate makes it possible. When reading at night with a more direct besides lamp, often in combination with a subtle backlight, the Boox is much better. The Daylight screen can glare quite a bit, so the only option is backlight only. And at that point, a lot of paper-like quality goes away. You can also get some glare when there's direct sunlight at a particular angle. Yeah, I think without being a full e-ink, there's always be some limitations like this. I think e-ink, apart from the refresh rate, it's really hard to beat the comfort of the e-ink display. Even if I don't write or program directly on the Boox, I've experimented with using it as a secondary display, like for the live reload blog preview. That looks good. To sum up, these devices are good for different things in my experience. I've probably spent more time on the Boox because I've had it for longer and I've read a lot on it, but the Daylight has been much better for typing and drawing. Another thing I would like to try is a larger ink monitor for my workstation, like the one Zek is hacking on. I'm hoping this technology continues to improve on refresh rate because I love e-ink. Until then, the Daylight is a good compromise. Yeah, that looks really cool. I always loved the e-ink display. It's so easy to have it in your hand, go somewhere, and having like you're reading a book. So I think if I can code on it without the refresh rate issue, that would be ideal. And it looks like right now this Daylight is really hitting the middle ground for now. But yeah, for now I wouldn't be getting anything because I really like the simplicity of having a MacBook Air, going somewhere, just opening up and doing it. And I like the simplicity, I like that minimalism. But who knows? Yeah, we'll see if I need a second screen. Maybe it's something I consider. But yeah, but it's really I'm always, even if I'm not going to buy and I don't need it, I'm always interested in other people's experience and how that has affected their productivity. It's cool. let me know what your setup is like. And thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.